Hi YouTube! Welcome to day 24 of my birthday countdown vlog. 16 more days until I turn 40. So let's see, 1988, let's see, I turned 16 basically at the end of 87, but most of it was in 1988. But the big thing at the beginning of when I turned 16 was that I planned a big Sweet 16 birthday party for myself. Or my grandmother was helping me plan it. And I invited at least 20 people that I knew in high school to come to our house and have a party. And the significant thing about that is that nobody, not a single person, not even the few, 4 or 5 folks that I used to have lunch with all the time, that I thought were my friends, none of them came, and they didn't call or give an excuse or even say that they couldn't come. I mean, they all said they were going to come, and then they just didn't show up. And every single one of them had one excuse or another of what, one of them, oh, last minute family trip to Florida, or just really bad excuses. So that's how I started my 16th year in this world. Not the best start for me. But let's see, in 1988, other things that happened, I signed up in sophomore year to beginner's band, which was kind of cool. I got to learn how to play the flute, and I actually made second chair in our little beginner's band. And as part of that, I also auditioned for the concert band. We had both concert band and marching band, and they were separate, although some folks played on both. If they had the time to do so. The concert band was the more professional band. They did more formal concerts, and the director of the concert band was very strict, much more so than the director of the marching band in terms of practice and getting private tutelage outside of school and all that jazz. And I auditioned and actually was accepted into the concert band, which was considered a pretty good thing. Only people who played fairly decently were even considered to join the band. Unfortunately, I was told, and everybody in that band had to have a minimum of 3 hours of private tutoring outside of school in order to maintain their level of quality for the band. And we just didn't have the money. There was just no way, because private tutors were anywhere from $25 to $100 an hour, and my family just couldn't afford that. So, and one other thing is that concert band met at the same times as clubs met. And I was computer club president. I just started the Doctor Who club. I just joined the sign language club. I was a member of the German club, and I'd have to give all of that up junior year if I was going to do concert band. So between the fact that we couldn't afford the tutoring anyway, and the fact that I didn't want to give up all my clubs, I decided not to do concert band. So all I did was beginner's band, and that was it. But I had a good time in beginner's band. It was a lot of fun. We had a very funny guy who taught us, who was our band director. He was strict at times, and he would insult people, but he would insult people in a very funny way. And most of us would laugh at it. And I thought it was great. Although I believe the percussion section was his favorite target, because they were having trouble keeping time properly, and at one point the entire percussion section quit the band and didn't come back. So we actually had to borrow percussionists from, I think it was marching band. They lent us some of their percussionists because they met at the same time we did, and that was kind of funny. But we actually played a lot better once we actually had a good percussionist in the group. So that was an interesting thing that happened, and just starting up my own club. I mean, when I started high school, the computer club already existed, So I was a member the first year, and then sophomore year I got voted as president of Computer Club. But then starting my own club at the beginning of junior year with the Doctor Who Club, and then senior year I actually changed it to be the Sci-Fi Club. So instead of just Doctor Who, it was everything, Star Trek and Star Wars, and any sci-fi fans could join. And was sort of one of the beginning things for me in terms of learning how to lead people in a way and manage people. Managing myself, managing other people. So later on in life, when I actually had to manage people in a work environment, I actually drew from my experiences from those clubs. So I actually found a lot of value in those clubs. And I had a lot of fun with them too. Computer Club I loved especially because we didn't have a computer at home. And so I got to, once a week for about half an hour at school, I got to play with a real computer. And I actually learned how to do basic programming. Not simple programming, but basic, B-A-S-I-C, programming. And I actually programmed a quiz, a geography quiz, with a 10-question geography quiz. And I had to have it, ask the question. If you gave the right answer, it would go on to the next question, and if you gave the wrong answer, it would loop back and say, oops, sorry, try again, and ask that same question again. And then you have to, you kept going, looping until you got the answer right, and then you can keep going. And that took me an entire semester of programming to do. Well, like I said, I only had half an hour, and I was learning, and I was experimenting and having to figure out how to make the loops work and all of that, the if-then statements and things. So that was my first foray into some real computer programming. And it's about as hardcore as I ever got beyond HTML and things. But it was fun, and it was a learning experience, and I'm really glad that I did it. So that's it for today. Until tomorrow, bye.